Let's rally the troops today in Starter Kit. This is example 3 from page 7 in the rulebook. And there are two parts to it here. We've got the Russian part that is directly from the example that I'm going to speak to. And then over on the left, I have a German example that I have added that I'll get to in part 2 of this video. So let's focus on the example at hand on the Russian side here. And assume it is, in this situation, this full situation, let's assume it is the Russians' player turn. Therefore, they have to make their rally attempts first. And the first thing they need to attempt to do is make any self-rallies. Now, this unit here doesn't make sense for it to do a self-rally because it is stacked with a leader, which can get its modifier from. So naturally, this unit is going to attempt a self-rally. And in these examples, I am not going to use the rolls from the rulebook. I'm going to actually roll, and we may get different results from the rulebook, or we may get some interesting results to see what happens. So for this squad, he's not under DM, but he is self-rallying. That's a +1 die roll modifier for self-rally attempt. And then he is in rally terrain. Remember, rally terrain is the same as route terrain, woods or buildings. If you are in a woods or building hex, you get a -1 die roll modifier. So it's going to be a net 0 die roll modifier for this guy attempting to self-rally. Let's see what we roll for the rally attempt. And he does not rally. If I would have rolled a 7 or less, since it was a net 0 modifier, he would have rallied. In this case, he does not rally. So let's move on to these units here who do have a leader stacked with them. And it doesn't matter which you start with in this case. Let's start with the Unbroken Squad A here. Now again, we've got there's no self-rally attempt, but we have a -1 die roll modifier for rally terrain. Then we have a -1 die roll modifier for leadership. So he's going to have a net -2 die roll modifier on his attempt. And let's see what he rolls. You essentially need to roll a 9. He rolls a 5. 5 -2 is 3. Well below his broken morale level, which is a 7. So he rallies. Let's move on to this DM unit here. Let's check out his modifiers. Obviously, he is not doing a self-rally attempt, but he has +4 for DM. He's been fired on in the previous turn by some unit, maybe we can't see on the board here, putting him under DM, or he just broke in the previous German player turn. We have -1 die roll modifier for rally terrain. Forgive my penmanship. And we have a -1 die roll modifier for leadership. Net is a 2 die roll modifier for him. Even though he's under DM, he gets the rally terrain and leadership bonus being stacked in that hex. Let's roll his rally, and he rallies as well. DM is gone, and he successfully rallies. That's it for the Russian side. Now, the German side is a little more interesting because we have a mix of units, and I threw in a light machine gun here. Since we're talking about rally phase, this doesn't necessarily apply to rallying units, but it's actions that you can take during the rally phase. And remember that a unit can only take one action in a rally phase, whether it's a leader or a unit. A leader is a unit. So any unit can only make one action during the rally phase. Because it is the Russians' player turn, Germans have to go second. So now it is their part of the rally phase. And because they go second, there are no self-rally attempts other than those units who are able to do self-rallies, such as this crew here can self-rally. But units who are unable to do self-rallies, such as this squad, he is basically shit out of luck because it is not the German's turn and he cannot self-rally. He's just going to have to sit there and wait till the leader gets to him, or he can just try to self-rally during the next German player turn. The first things you need to do in a rally phase are self-rallies and fixing weapons or trying to recover support weapons before you start doing your general rallies. So the only other self-rally we have, like I said, is this broken crew here. Okay, now he is in rally terrain. He's trying to self-rally, and he's under DM. So that is a net +4 for him to rally. I believe his broken side morale is 8, so he essentially is going to need a 4 to rally, and he does not even come close. But that DM does go off. Let's move down to these units down here. There are several things that can happen here. Now remember again, a unit can only attempt one action per rally phase. One action, a leader can attempt to rally all units in a hex. That's considered one action, even though it's multiple things occurring. Trying to rally units is considered one action. He could attempt to pick up this support weapon, but if he did that, he would not be able to rally either of these squads. Or this squad could attempt to pick up the weapon, which makes a lot more sense. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this 467 try to pick up that weapon, and he secures that weapon. That counts as an action for him, and he's unable to do anything else this turn. Now we have essentially a broken squad and a broken leader. Now the leader could attempt to self-rally, which would not make sense because he would be foregoing this leader's leadership modifier, plus he would have to add a +1 to his self-rally attempt. So the 8-1 is going to attempt to rally this 7-0 leader. And basically we've got -1 leadership, -1 rally terrain, +4 DM for a net +2. And he has a morale of 7, so he essentially needs a 5. And he does rally. Very nice. Now the 8-1 turns its attention over to this squad. Essentially the same role. He has the same broken side morale, same modifiers. I believe it was a net +2, so he needs a 5 to rally. And he rallies as well. 8-1 is doing work today. Okay, now what would have happened? Let's backtrack a bit. And let's assume this light machine gun was unpossessed at the beginning of the rally phase. Let's just kind of backtrack at the beginning there of the German turn and assume it is unpossessed in this hex. The squad is going to attempt to pick it up. In that case, he would not have recovered the light machine gun. Let's roll again because I want him to recover it. Well, okay, let's assume he did not pick it up. That squad cannot attempt any other action. In other words, he couldn't try to pick it up again. Okay, he picks it up. Now it's put on top of the squad, but it's still broken. But because the squad did an action during the rally phase, he cannot attempt to repair it. So he can't pick it up and attempt to repair it. He can do one or the other. If he possesses it and it's broken, he can attempt to repair it. If he doesn't possess it, he can try to pick it up, but not attempt to repair it. So that's the end of the total rally phase, being the Russians' turn. They went first, had some success. So did the Germans. They went first, had some success, except for this DM'd crew up here. And he was able to recover that support weapon in both the broken and unbroken state there. But he can't do both. He can't pick it up and fix it if it is broken. All right. Rally phase is it's one of those phases that's a little chill sometimes because you're not moving, you're not firing, you're not making big decisions, right? There's only certain actions you can take, and you're just rolling dice. Now, the results of those die rolls can have a huge impact on the game, but there's not a lot of decision making in the rally phase. It's the beginning of the turn. It's kind of a little bit of a, take a breath after the last turn, relax for a minute, go through your rallies and picking up weapons or trying to fix weapons. Not a lot of decisions that need to be made, but the impacts of your rolls can still have a huge effect on the game going forward, all right? So starter kit rally phase, pretty simple. These examples added the German part to the Russian example 3 on page 7 in the starter kit rulebook. And with that, I'm going to stick a fork in this. Academy out.
Get to the chopper!
If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw, thanks for watching, and let me know how I can do better. See you in the next video.